Truth here, and it's time for more Otaku Evolution. Be sure to like, subscribe, and contribute to my Patreon. I have a few doctor's appointments coming up. Nothing major, just need to get a checkup, check my cholesterol, get a carbuncle shaped like a human face removed from my abdomen, make sure my kidneys are working well, the usual. I just hope my doctor can do something to handle the increasing tension I feel looking at all the blocks my videos are getting on YouTube. It's time once again to schedule an operation performed by our favorite stitched-up surgeon, the enigmatic Dr. Black Jack, assisted by his not creepy at all 18-year-old lowly Pinoko. I've been milking the OVA episodes for a while now, and this video covers the last two that were dubbed into English, apparently, though there were 2 more made. Will the last 2 be dubbed too someday? I don't think it's likely, but weirder things have happened. And speaking of weird things, I present to you 2 more bizarre cases for Black Jack, who in these episodes finds himself less than successful in handling. In one case, the good doctor is brought in to handle the strange face-shaped growth on the body of a successful executive. He'd had it since childhood, and had been causing him no end of trouble, as it even spoke to him and caused him immense physical pain. Black Jack becomes a little suspicious of the man's butler, who turns out to have some education in medicine, but his motivation is only to serve his master as best as he can. Then Black Jack is confronted by his old acquaintance, Inspector Zenonada from episode 2, who is now on juvenile crime duty. Things complicate when it becomes clear that the executive not only has a human face-shaped growth, but a nasty case of dissociative identity disorder. One of his identities is a boy who vandalizes fancy cars, which I guess is harmless enough, but another is a woman serial killer who targets unfaithful men.
You said that you had a wife and children.
What?
You never even consider how you hurt them, do you?
No, but now that I think about it...
Too late.
Once Zenonada is convinced that the executive is the same as the boy and the woman, he warns Black Jack at his client's house. The rest of the police are bound to come to the same conclusion and come knocking hard, so Black Jack has to operate on his client quickly to excise the carbuncle and the excess personalities that come with it. The surgery appears to be a success at first, but after the authorities break in, things go from bad to worse.
Well, shall we finally end it?
No, not just yet. There are a lot more unforgivable men that I want to kill.
Remember, I still haven't been able to find Little Ko's mama.
And what about you, Koichiro?
I'm so tired. Let it end.
Then it is decided!
In another case, Black Jack is hired by a chemical company that's been court-ordered to compensate a fishing town for polluting their waters and poisoning their people. He wants to take this opportunity to examine and assist people who've been the victims of industrial malfeasance, and especially zeroes in on a specific girl, Tsukiko, who was unable to get a compensation card because of her lack of background information. He performs surgery to get her legs to work again, and helps her get through part of the rehabilitation, but she becomes the victim of her own gratitude when she decides to dive deep in the stormy sea for a gift to thank her hero.
Tsukiko! Tsukiko! Come back! Tsukiko! Tsukiko!
All the ladies love Dr. Black Jack, and who can blame them? For a guy who was horribly injured in a landmine explosion, he's the handsomest genius surgeon with a child bride.
May the doctor's job turn out all right. May the doctor never get a bad illness or break any important bones. May the doctor always treat me nicely. May the doctor never ever cheat on me.
Let's go, Pinoko.
Oh yeah, and there's another thing. Make him fall in love with me. Okay.
Yeah, that never gets less disturbing. Anime, folks! Now, normally I find the less bullshit that's poured into an episode of Black Jack, the more likely it is to be legitimately good, because you aren't too busy rolling your eyes at the outrageousness. But here it's the opposite. I found out the weird multiple personality thing in episode 9 much more interesting than the relatively mundane tale of environmental poisoning in episode 10. As far out and as impossible as the former was, the story behind the exec's childhood, the presence of Inspector Zenonata, and that homeless girl that looked suspiciously like the girl in episode 2 that was getting high on the cacti, really filled in the atmosphere. The best we get in the latter tale were the cab driver and the inn owner, and they could have been combined into one character. I guess what I'm saying is, characters are very important in establishing a mood. And while the 10th episode has a more realistic case, and an awesome bit where Black Jack confronts a corrupt bigwig, it's the 9th episode that held my attention.
That's all there is.
Listen, I can get health and welfare on your ass and tell them you're practicing medicine without a license. You follow me? Looks like I'm wasting my time here, huh? Oh, well.
What I find interesting about both episodes, though, is that Black Jack sort of, well, fails. In both cases, something happens that causes a less than optimal turnout for the patient. But it's not Black Jack's fault in either case. There are just circumstances completely out of his control that come to pass. How is he supposed to know that his patient in episode 9 would turn into an amalgamation of all three personalities and commit suicide by cop? I mean, I couldn't see things ending well for that guy to begin with, since the police know he's killed several people, but yikes. How is Black Jack supposed to know that Tsukiko would be so terminally stupid, so romantic to the detriment of her well-being, that she would take a swim in the stormy sea while still recovering from surgery? I guess her obsession with the tale of the mermaid from the shrine caught up to her.
She went deeper and deeper. If she could find a blue pearl to give him, he would surely understand how much she loved him. But in her desperation, Nagi forgot she no longer had her powerful fin to bring her back to the surface for air. Before she realized it, she had gone too deep and never returned.
My point is, no matter how hard Black Jack tried, in the end, it didn't even matter. Kinda makes the stories into shaggy dog tales, doesn't it? I mean, they say the ride is more important than the destination, and there were some interesting elements in both episodes to make them at least basically okay rides, but their endings kind of spat in the face of all the talk of medical techniques and show of expertise. But I guess Tezuka and Dazaki were fans of stories where no matter how good you are at what you do, sometimes fate has other plans. It's too bad Dazaki isn't still around to give us several more Black Jack OVA episodes. Like or hate them, each one had something for me to talk about. And they really don't make things like he did anymore. So here's to you, Dazaki, you crazy diamond. If anyone knew how to turn Tezuka's wild bullshit into their own kind of wild bullshit, it was you.
A lot of folks around here know Tsukiko, and we like her. So we buy her fish, even though we'd never actually eat the stuff in a million years. If she's coming this far to try and sell her catch, it means the people down on the shore aren't buying. They must be really hurting for money.
Well, this was a really short video, wasn't it? In the past, I might have done a full rundown of both episodes, complete with every detail and snarky asides, but that's just not the kind of video I do anymore. So stretching things out 2 episodes at a time is pretty worthless to me now, too. Just like Dazaki was a dying breed, so too are videos like those. I want to talk more about characters, themes, and techniques more than specific story beats. And hopefully I can do just that with my next video. What will I be covering? I've got a few ideas, but nothing set in stone. I hope you can watch it and many more to come. Until then, see ya!
Let's have a drink together. Today's been a lousy day.
I got it! You were fired, weren't you?
You? It's my wife's birthday. It's terrible, really.
What do you mean, terrible?
I'd be much happier if only she'd never been born in the first place.